Hi, this is my presentation on Friday Night Live. My name is Taylor Colwell, and this is Drug Use and Abuse course. Friday Night Live is a school-based universal prevention program that builds partnerships for positive and healthy youth development and engages youth as active leaders and resources in their communities. Friday Night Live membership is open at participating schools to anyone who is interested and who commits to a healthy lifestyle free from alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. Friday Night Live's youth plan school and county-wide events for all students to attend as positive, fun alternatives to potentially unsafe activities. Who joins Friday Night Live? Friday Night Live is located at 8 different high schools, 13 middle schools, and 2 college campuses throughout San Luis Obispo County. It is aimed at middle school and high school students mostly, and adults are welcome to chaperone and be a helping hand. What does Friday Night Live have to offer? They have movie nights, beach cleanups, dodgeball tournaments, the holiday party, 24-hour relay challenges, and countrywide mock rock. Those are just a few examples of activities. Friday Night Live students participate regularly in a variety of training and presentation related to substance use, and its related issues. Students also educate others about the topic. Some of these projects include seatbelt safety, DUI prevention, and every 15 minutes. And I just wanted to include that every 15 minutes is a absolutely wonderful thing that the FNL do. They came to my school when I was in high school. Basically, it represents every 15 minutes there is a drug or alcohol related accident. They put on a huge show where they take students, volunteer students away overnight. They tell the rest of the school that they had died in a car crash. They built a huge car crash related event on our football field. Everybody thought it was somewhat real that they had died in the car crash until they saw them on the field and realized that it was faked, but it was for a good purpose. But it was really moving, and people really did respond to it. So I think that this is a really great thing that they offer and they do to help students. How is Friday Night Live funded? Congresswoman Lois Capps announced that San Luis Obispo Friday Night Live partnership has been awarded a $125,000 grant from the Drug Free Communities. This was in 2012, so it's about 2 years old, but that still is a huge amount of money, so I'm sure it's still being put to use. They also receive other grants, they receive gifts, and they do a lot of fundraising. There are many barriers and ethical issues to, I believe, any program that has to do with alcohol and substance abuse, but this one in particular, I believe that it has to deal with a lot of peer pressure as a barrier, because students may feel pressured in high school and middle school nowadays to try substances and to be included. And I think that those that are brave enough to join Friday Night Live because others can pick on them or make fun of them or do cruel things in high school and middle school, I think those are huge barriers. I think also funding can be a barrier, though that they were given the $125,000 to keep the program running. They obviously need more. So finding new and interesting ways to get people to give money could be a challenge. Keeping teens interested in Friday Night Live as they grow older and they want to try and experiment. Every teenager wants to. Finding ways to keep them interested in staying sober and safe can be an issue for sure. And then keeping teens honest about substance usage. They said in their requirements is that you have to be committed to not using tobacco, drugs, or alcohol. Now, students may lie, and that may be a huge issue. I think that a way to solve these issues would be more, doing more teen-aimed activities. So yes, they do a lot of the relay races and the movies and all that, and that's great. But they could do more things, such as a camp. They could go away for a week at camp, and they could do some form of fundraising where the teens raise awareness against drug and alcohol. They could come up with many different ways to keep teens interested. but they do just need to accept the fact also that teens do experiment. So I also strongly believe that if teens make a mistake while they are in the program, that they should be forgiven and welcomed back. Here are some statistics on San Luis Obispo County's drug use. This isn't necessarily aimed right at the teenagers, but it is pretty much countywide. This is from 2012, and it is on heroin. In San Luis Obispo County, my personal experience with friends, heroin has taken over. It is extremely unfortunate and pretty heartbreaking. It shows here basically that every year, except for the exception of 2008, that heroin overdoses and heroin addictions have risen. It says here the heroin treatment admissions in 2011 were 103. I guarantee 2014 will be triple, if not quadruple that, in my personal opinion. However, I do believe that Friday Night Live helps reduce these statistics. I think that, saving one student is obviously great compared to not saving me. These are statewide statistics that I found. This is from 2013. California has the 15th lowest drug overdose mortality rate in the United States, with 10.6 per 100,000 people suffering from drug overdose fatalities. Now, I understand that this is statewide, but if I wasn't able to find one countywide, but if I was to say just in my hometown in San Luis Obispo County, more than 10 people have died of a heroin overdose in the last year. I strongly believe that it is probably more than 10, probably 20, if not more, in my small little town. My second statistic is, according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, nationally, sales of prescription painkillers have quadrupled since 1999. And a number of fatal poisonings due to prescription pain pills have also quadrupled. Now, this isn't crazy. Enough prescription painkillers were prescribed in 2010 to medicate every American adult continually for a month. That is huge. Now, I know personally when I was in high school, which was 4 or 5 years ago now, pill popping was just becoming more and more popular. I graduated in 2010, so it was 4 years ago, and I knew many friends who did Oxy and did Adderall and any Norcodes, everything that you can think of as a way to get that high during school. And it's really unfortunate that they are given out so freely, especially a lot to the sports players. A lot of football players got addicted to Oxy when they got sports injuries, and then now they're addicted to heroin, and a few have actually just overdosed. Friday Night Live's role. The role is to keep teens away from dangerous substance and encourage education and healthy activities. If a teen stays away from substances, they're less likely to be addicted as adults. That's, mostly my personal opinion, but I have read that in the textbook as well. Friday Night Live's role is helping teens make right decisions, therefore the community is better. If one less person is using heroin, then that can just continue on to others to stop using heroin or not even getting addicted in the first place. If we can change the attitude of teens, and the way that they look at drugs as a more negative rather than, oh, let's go get high, then I think that the whole community can grow in a positive direction. Here's some interesting facts that I found off of National Library. It says 55% of adolescents who have smoked cigarettes, 50% who had used alcohol, and 47% who have used marijuana had a parent who knew that they used. However, parents were less aware of substance-related problems experienced by their offspring. Agreeing with adolescent reports, only 27% of the time for diagnosis of alcohol abuse or dependence, and 26% of the time for diagnosis of marijuana abuse or dependence. Now, this is from a book called Alcoholism off of National Library. Basically, what they did is they did a poll between parents and adolescents, and whether the parents knew that the adolescents were using some form of drug, and if the adolescents knew that the parent knew. Most kids think that they can get away with anything, that their parents don't know, and that they either don't care or don't pay attention. But parents know. Most of them know. They don't want to believe it half the time, but they know. In the U.S., for example, 80% of 10th grade students have tried alcohol, and 1/3 reported an episode of heavy drinking within the prior month. That's from 1997, though, so that's a little dated. A recently published longitudinal study of 16-year-olds in Seattle reported that 8.6 were engaged in heavy drinking in the prior month. 32.6 usually got drunk when they drank, and 32.7% reported they had experienced alcohol-related problems. Sorry for my misspelling. This is also dated, and I know that, but I still believe that that statistic is accurate. They, if not, doubled by now. But I also got this off Nationals University's library. In the small town that I live, there was never much to do besides partying, and it's unfortunate that students, teenagers, don't have more of more things to do besides sports, or just hang out with friends and texting and planning the next party. There needs to be a better window for aggression or whatever they're going through. Here's a few suggestions I had for Friday Night Live. I would suggest that they continue to grow, to go towards more colleges also. They do two in San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly, and Cuesta Community College. However, I believe that they should keep growing all over California and all over the United States. I think that is an absolutely wonderful program, and even if it just helps 5, 10, 20 students, that's 20 students that aren't using drugs, which is huge. I believe that they should create more activities, as I said before. Summer camp, maybe plans. They do sports teams themselves where they can have a weekly soccer match or weekly basketball match, something fun like that. They can go to water parks in summertime, really fun, or overnight camping. That would be fun. I mean, I did say they could be really creative. I think they should let the teenagers come up with it, since they're the ones that they're aiming at. And one other thought I had was the reward system. Teenagers really feed off of being rewarded, in my opinion. I remember I did. If I did something great, if I got good grades, I would get $20, or I could go out to dinner or something. Or if you're crazy, you get a new phone or a new computer when you graduate high school, something like that. I think they really feed off the reward system. So if they're rewarded for staying sober and not using drugs, I think that would be a huge positive thing in their life, and that they'd be less likely to try, or if they were using, to continue. So that's just a few thoughts I had. Here's my references. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I hope that you look into Friday Night Live. Thank you.